All right, so let's get this party started. My name is Borino. I'm your coach. I've been involved in real estate and coaching and training and marketing for many, many, many years, helping thousands and thousands of you, and it's a privilege and honor and fun to have you here. We have a new mic system, slightly different wiring. Let me know if the audio is good. Can you just type in audio okay? I would love to just get some feedback from you. Rob, good to see you. Jesus, nice to have you. Yes, is the audio good? Video good? Can you see me? Do I look good? Yes. Tom, nice to have you. Rob, lots of good people today. Excellent. That's going to be good. It's going to be a great session. Very nice to see everybody here. Just want to make sure my mic is good. The levels are good because we rewired it. We're running a little bit different. Audio good, Grace. Thank you so much. Excellent. All right, so with that, we're going to get started. So the entire week here on Rockstars YouTube and Facebook will be all about for sale by owners. And the reason I wanted to chat with you about FSBOs is because you have a lot of opportunity. It's really interesting how, especially the newer agent, when they come and join us here on Rockstars, or they just come to me for questions, one of the first things I always ask is, how do I get listings? Where are the leads? And of course, some say, hey, let's go online and do the Zillow and do the Realtor.com and buy leads and do all that. Fine. If you want to do that, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not bashing any method that helps you get clients, get paid, do well in business. But what I recommend is, dude, start with the low-hanging fruit first. There's business all around you. There are leads all around you. There are people around you. Now, there'll be two big groups that you're going to counter. People who will be ready down the road, the future leads, fine. They can be fine. If you have a solid, robust follow-up system, you're going to convert them down the road. But start with those who are already in the process, and there are only two, expired and FSBOs. Now, you wonder why they call me the expired and FSBO guru. I don't know if expired guru really sounds all that good, right? You know what I mean? It is because I want to teach you how you can get business now. And once you develop your systems, you develop your skills, you have some capital flowing, some cash going. Yes, absolutely run ads. Absolutely invest in your business, whether it's going to be marketing, direct mail, advertising, all of that is groovy. But get these core systems in place first. Why not? Why not? And I know some of you may have tried for sale by owners, or you heard other agents talk about it, or you saw Glenn Ross, you know, the movie. And so you're a little hesitant. I totally understand that, because you do need to have certain systems in place. You do need to have certain skills in place to make it work out. That goes for everything. That is not unique or exclusive to FSBOs. You know what I'm saying? So this week, I want to give you some practical tips, some practical strategies to help you with all this. Because friends, if you have even a handful of for sale by owners, even just a few, we have something they don't have. We have data. And I'll share way more data with you as we go through the week. But understand this one first and foremost. If you really start paying attention and start tracking it, you're going to notice a trend. And that trend is that majority of the FSBOs you have in your area end up listing with an agent. That is the most important fact that will help you understand, Jesus Christ, I have a lot of opportunity around me. There are a lot of people who end up hiring an agent. So the question I have is, why not you? You're a good agent, right? You're not an asshole. You're honest with your people. You work hard. You want to give them the best deal possible. You want to take good care of them. Then why not? I tell you why not. There are only two reasons. You don't know how, and you don't believe it's going to work. You don't know how. You don't have a process in place. I'll teach you. That's my job. But it's the belief part that is the core, that is the most important one. And that's what trips a lot of you. That tripped me. Because deep inside, I didn't believe it could be easy. Deep inside, I thought money's hard to come by. Deep inside, I thought life is a struggle. And there's no such thing as easy money. I'm not saying real estate is easy. No. Real estate is a challenging business. It's a demanding business. We have a big attrition rate. A lot of people drop out. But for those of you guys who stick it out, for those of you who are tenacious, for those of you who are persistent, it can be very lucrative and profitable business if you're smart enough to understand there's opportunity. Other people are doing it, so can I. And here's the formula I'll give you. If there are for sale by owners who end up listing with other agents, guess what? Those other agents have a system. You can have a system. Those other agents have a belief. You shift your belief. So let's start with that. Start with a belief. It's going to work. I'm going to figure it out. It's not going to be perfect. There'll be a learning curve. Anything I pick up, any skill, I first suck at. It's normal. From the moment you learned how to walk, did you get it perfectly the first time? Yeah? Did you were like, Mommy, you can let go now? I got this. No, right? You were like, whoa, point, right? I was like that, of course. My parents captured on the film. It's pretty cool. It takes time. All this takes time. Now, the good news is working for sell-by owners, working these sellers, is a set of skills. You don't need to have a talent. There is no required talent. Like, you don't need to sing beautifully. You don't need to play an instrument. You don't need to be 6 feet 3 inches tall. You don't need to be beautiful and handsome. If you are, it's a bonus. It's cool. Many of you beautiful people out there. But it doesn't matter how old you are. None of that matters. It's a set of skills. You're not competing in an NBA. You're not competing for a national championship in golf where you need to have a certain talent. This requires your ability to communicate with people, to connect with people, follow a system. But it goes back to that foundation. And that foundation is the most important word I'm going to give you today. And that is the belief. Belief. It's going to work. I got what it takes. I may not have it perfectly. I may still have some gaps. But I can fill those. I can figure this out. Watching Borino's videos. I get emails all the time from you, and I so appreciate you guys who tell me, man, I've been watching your videos. I got one last week. I'll show it to you tomorrow. We got 50 listings. We're on track to do 50 deals because we learned from your YouTube videos, doing expires and FSBOs. That pleases me to no end. Whether you buy my systems, you come on board, I have an invitation today for you to join the FSBO Bootcamp. We're launching by the end of next week, which is going to be a lot of fun. That's just going to accelerate all this. It's a system that I'll teach you step by step. I'll walk you through it. But you can do this. So understand that the belief is the core. If you're going in thinking, I can figure this out, if this doofus from Czechoslovakia figured it out, who had zero business skills, zero talent, zero special abilities, I mean, I admire people, you know them, the natural salesman or the salesperson, saleswoman, whatever the politically correct fucking term is. It's amazing. You know, they have the talent, like they walk into the room, they can talk to everybody, shake hands, smile. Most of us don't have it. I don't have it. I don't. I developed it. I learned, I observed, I studied, read some books, tried tons of things, and most of them didn't work. But my belief was, I can figure it out. You must adopt the same belief. Where you are today, as far as your dollars, where you are today, where your bank account, the balance in your bank account, positive, hopefully, a lot of numbers, a lot of zeros. The size of that number represents 3 things. Your emotions plus your thoughts plus your actions. Those are your habits. The emotions you feel, the thoughts you have, and these are connected. Emotions trigger certain thinking, right? You feel kind of shitty and suddenly the thought is like, that's a shitty day out there. And then vice versa. Thoughts trigger certain emotions. And these two trigger actions or lack thereof. So if you're not prospecting diligently enough, if you're not consistent in your follow-up, if you're not role-playing, practicing, if you're not working on your communication, if you're not educating yourself, if you feel like you're lazy, sound effects for the quotes. It is the combination. Your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions are misaligned. This is your subconscious programming deep inside governing your behavior. This shapes your destiny. That's the whole secret. That connects to the beliefs you have. So if you're going in, working FSBOs, prospecting, just feeling overall like a rock star real estate agent, it's a different path. It's a different journey than going like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. Things are kind of tough right now. Many people fail. I failed before. I have a news for you, friends. Your past does not equal your future. Whatever happened 5 minutes ago, yesterday, last month, last year so far, does not indicate what you're capable of in the future. Unless you repeat the same emotions, thoughts, and actions, then of course. If you believe it's out there, if you believe it's reachable, if you believe you're in control, you are, it is, you will get there. Is that helpful? So start with this. This is the foundation. You cannot build a sustainable, profitable, successful business without a solid foundation. They'd be like building a house on a sand. You bring up the walls and the whole thing crumbles. That's how agents quit. That's how agents fail. They don't have the solid foundation of the mindset. So let's talk about FSBOs now. You have the right mindset. You may not have all the answers. You may not be the 100% unstoppable FSBO rockstar, but you can be. It takes me 4 weeks to take an agent who even has never done FSBOs and turn it around. That's why I have a 4-week boot camp. It takes 4 weeks. There are 4 separate chapters that I'm going to work with you on to get you there. So you can do this quickly. That's another belief. It shouldn't take too long. But it will require persistency, it will require consistency, good confident communication, knowledge of the market, the basic real estate stuff, and staying with it, even if it sucks, even if you don't get the results right away. The persistency is an important part of that. With this, and pretty much everything else, right? I've been telling you my journey since I started this year, getting healthier, leaner, stronger. I'm happy to report that I'm down 19 pounds, which is really great. But unlike the diets and the fads in the past, this is sustainable. This is something we shifted as a permanent changes. In the way I work out, in the way we eat at home, the groceries we buy, all that is changing. I'm really excited. I'm 12 pounds away from my target. I haven't been there for, about 8 or maybe 10 years. So I'm really excited. But how do I get there? It's the same thing. My emotions, my thoughts, and actions are aligned. My belief is I got this. And there'll be some bumps and there'll be some up and downs, and it's not perfect, and there are times where I struggle with it. But overall, I'm excited. It's moving in the right direction. You need to feel the same. Even if there may be some detours and some up and downs, and some days it's better than others. Some days the weight is coming off nicely. Some days it spikes back up, but it's normal. It's part of the process. Some days you're going to lock in a lot of good leads. You're going to be unstoppable. You had days like that, remember? Whereas you just, whatever you touch turns to sold. Whatever you touch, the leads are responsive. You're setting appointments, you're getting listings, you're getting offers, just you are unstoppable. And there are days where it sucks. Where you get rejected even without picking up the phone. You know? It is precisely in those moments where you need to stay with it. You need to break through it. And the way you're going to break through it is sometimes it's just take deliberate action. Half of your success is just showing up. Half of my success to stay lean, for example, is just I have to show up in the fucking gym. Whether I feel like it or not, whether I feel like I'm excited, how I feel is not relevant. I do my job. And there are workouts where I'm unstoppable. You know what I mean? I'm full of passion and I'm just rolling through it and I'm barreling through it just like, poof, like a jet. And there are times where I'm the double decker, barely flying above the ground. But I show up. You've got to show up. You want to work successfully at FSBOs? You show up. The last one chewed your ass? You show up. The last one listed with somebody else? Fuck, that hurts. It sucks, but you show up. The last one sells on their own? You show up. You go to the next one. The last one wanted to list with you, was ready to list with you, and then they changed their mind. You keep going. You show up. You keep going. You show up. Remember the Borino rule? Do the best you can with what you have. If what you have is feeling pissed off, you still show up and get the job done, doing your best. Do your best. Do the best you can with what you have. So let's talk about FSBOs. Your mindset is in place. You're all pumped. Your coach Borino got you set up. So let's start with where do we find these folks? They're all around you. They're everywhere. And I'll give you a couple of places where you'll start, just to kind of warm up, just to see what's out there. Start with 2. Let me put it on the board. I want you to start with Zillow and Craigslist. Those are 2 good places to start. Now the third one will be your neighborhood. You should own your neighborhood. So if there's a FSBO in your neighborhood, you stop by immediately, you take down their information, knock on the door, have a conversation. But this is where you start. Go on Zillow, Make Me Move and FSBO, same thing. Craigslist, there are about 89 or 90 for sale by owners Craigslist in my area right now. You smart people in my area, Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area, jump on it, opportunity. And then your own neighborhood. Because statistically, the last numbers I have show that out of 10 FSBOs, 7 end up listing with an agent. That may be slightly different in your area. What if half of them sell on their own and you end up with half? Well, shit. Out of 10, you still have 5 chances. So question is, can you contact, and with my system or your system or just a system, out of 10, can you turn just one into a listing? Is that possible? And what if you do that weekly? Fuck weekly. What if you do it every 2 weeks? 2 good listings every month that you just pick up from this. Is that possible? I'm here to tell you, with the right systems, persistence, the right mindset, it's totally possible. And I have some students who do that. Some do better, some don't do anything. Human nature, you know how it is. Some people crush it, they learn it, they really grab it, they run with it. And some people don't. Who are you? Now, the fact that you're here right now, learning this, getting inspired, getting pumped, looking for an opportunity that's always been there. I mean, this is not the first time you've heard me or somebody else talk about for sale by owners. You might have taken classes before, been on webinars before. You might have even tried FSBOs. But the fact that you're here right now tells me 2 things. One, you're looking for new ways to get business. I'm here to tell you this is one of the easiest, fastest way to do that, number 1. And number 2, you're looking for a system. And I can provide that for you. With the right mindset and the right beliefs and right persistency, when you're willing to do what it takes and train yourself and learn and practice, some of it is communication, some of it is marketing, you can get there. That's my job. If you let me do my job, I will help you. So do the numbers. What can you convert? Can you come up with 10 for sale by owners, potential leads in your area every week? Is that possible? In many markets, it is possible. People believe, a lot of sellers believe, a lot of for sale by owners believe they can do it on their own. But remember what I said at the beginning, what they don't have is what we have, which is statistics, data. And the data shows 7 out of 10 end up listing. There's also another piece of data that you must be aware of, and that's this. Right there, 8%. Out of 100 transactions in the United States, only 8 were for sale by owners. It is the lowest since 1981, since they've been tracking this for 30 years. Or something, more than 30 years. The lowest number, and you would think, well, help, with all the technology and internet and all these systems coming online, where you can take beautiful HD video with your smartphone, post it in a matter of seconds, and all these resources we have available. Shouldn't that be the other way around? Shouldn't more for sale by owners be more successful? The answer is no. The business is becoming more complex. There is more need than ever for pros like you, for people who know how to get it done and help people, and who come from the heart, and that's important. Of course you want to feed your family. Of course you want to get paid. Of course you want to get the commission, but that's not your primary objective. Let the salespeople approach it that way. There are still some who believe that's going to work long term. I'm here to tell you no. If you come from the heart, from contribution, being helpful, being cool with people, holding their hand and helping them, and yes, some will sell because of your help. It's part of the deal. You will still end up with plenty. What if you end up with just 2 a month? How much extra cash would put that in your pocket? How much would you provide for your family, for yourself, if you could just do 2 extra listings a month or more? So start there. Break down the numbers, understand it's a long-term game. You're not going to convert most of them overnight. It may take a little bit of time. And the reason this thing needs time is because of this word. Trust. Trust. Every listing you've ever gotten was because they liked you, trusted you, and respected you. You will never list a property if the seller doesn't trust you. Never. The reason you lost listings because they didn't trust you. They didn't believe you are the best choice. That's the bad news. The good news is it can be fixed. There are only certain triggers. It's a process. Trust is a process. It starts with the right mindset, goodwill, good communication, having the right intentions, and then being persistent. That's how you build trust. And I will teach you as we go through the week how to do that with FSBOs. I will teach you the good openers. I will teach you what do you say, the best questions to ask, how to not be salesy, not to put them off. 2 questions you absolutely should stay away from. 2 things you should never talk about ever, ever, ever until the actual listing appointment. And how to see that behind the facade that you often encounter, where they're resistant. Why? We don't have the best reputation. There's a lot of incompetence in this business. How hard was it to get the real estate license? About as hard as getting a driver's license, right? At least in California. So we don't have the best reputation. So they put up this defense, this facade, to protect themselves from being pushed, being manipulated, being taken advantage of. Nobody wants that. So if you approach it from a human angle, if you approach it from kindness, contribution, still high status, confidence. I'm not talking about sucking up to them and kissing their ass and do any of that. Don't need to do that. If you're a high status, confident agent who says, I'm just here to help, let's figure out if I can help you. You will get people, you will win people, and you will never have to sell yourself, or worse, explain how you're different. Because the moment the seller says, well, how are you any different from all the other agents? You're already in trouble. That's an indicator of problem, that you're not standing out too much. You're considered like everybody else. That's probably because you either act or sound, or both, like everybody else. You're most likely reciting scripts, or you're insecure and nervous, low status. You're not in control of the conversation or the situation. All of that can be remedied with a little practice. So my friends, today's session, you're going to get a homework. You always get a homework. Boot camp, tons of homework. That's the whole idea. Learn, take action. Learn, take action. Learn, take action. So here's your homework before I get to your questions. Please post your questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Your homework is this. I would like you to have one conversation, just one. Go on Zillow, go on Craigslist, go on, there are a bunch of other sites obviously, but start with these two. Just have one conversation. Just get the feel for what it's like to talk to these people. Don't be attached to the outcome at all. Don't be attached to whether you're going to get an appointment, whether you're going to get into a 10, 15-minute pleasant conversation, or they just say no thank you and hang up. None of that matters. I just want you to get your feet wet. It's just like, I'm not asking you to dive into the lake, just dip your toe in. Yeah? Can you do that between today and session tomorrow? And then report to me. Post in comments here. I'll be curious to see what kind of experience you had. Get these folks on the phone, preferably meet them in person if it's possible. But if not, little phone conversation, just a few questions. One of the best questions is, do you cooperate with agents? Most of them, and you'll be surprised. Two things, that's really interesting. My bootcamp graduates always report two surprises. One, people are genuinely nice. Most FSBOs will be actually pretty nice. You know why? Because you approach them as a nice person, not as a pushy salesman or a woman, not too arrogant, not too scripted, or not too needy, too low status. You know, like me. None of that. Right in the middle. Confident, competent, in control, but also pleasant to talk to. So the first thing they report is people are genuinely nice. Why? Because people are genuinely nice. You're a nice person. I'm a nice guy. I mean, the language and all I know. Some of you are like, oh, I can't believe he said fuck. Oh, he must be evil. So the first thing they report is people are nice. And second, they want to cooperate with agents. Because many, especially if they've been on the market 2, 3, 4 weeks, realize that the shit they have to go through, buyers who don't show up, bargain hunters, bunch of agents bashing over the head that they should list with them, it's an unpleasant experience. And they're looking for plan B. They're looking for an alternative. They're often looking for a nice, good, pleasant agent. Guess what? I know one right there, right there. And I'll show you how you can connect with these folks. So now, here's my invitation. If you want to join us, we are starting next week on Thursday, May 16th. We're starting another boot camp. 4 weeks. It's an online course where you and I will work together. These are live webinar sessions for a small group of agents where I'll train you. I teach you everything. We'll break down the system. We'll break down the communication. I'll break down what you need to do, what you have to have in place. There are some tools it's nice to have, especially on the follow-up side. And I'll teach you. I'll walk you through it. So go to goborino.com/FSBO. There's a page that explains what you're going to get. Now, normally this is a $2,000 boot camp, but once in a while I roll out, I call it the Path Special. As you know, I have a monthly coaching program called The Path. So I have an invitation for people who say, I would like to try it, but I'm not sure if it's for me. And I said, fair enough. Come do the boot camp. We'll give you 1 free month of Path, all just for one price. It's $197, other than normally we charge $2,000 for the boot camp. And give it a try. See if you like it. And if you don't like it, no big deal. You just let us know. There's no like long-term contracts and any of that. You're going to get 2 books that will come in the mail. One is the FSBO manual, where I'll teach you. This is exactly step-by-step how to do FSBOs. And you're going to get a mindset book. Remember, we started with mindset. That's why it's so important. And then you and I will work on it together. Every week, we're going to have a boot camp session that you're going to attend. I'm going to break down the system into 4 sections. We're going to go step by step what needs to be done so you understand what to do. There'll be homework, there'll be assignments, and there'll be accountability. We'll review your homework to make sure you're on track. So by the time we're done, you have a system in place. It may not be perfect, but that's okay. It's operational, which is the idea. So if you're thinking about joining us, go to that page, goborino.com/FSBO, check it out, sign up. It's $197. It's a no-brainer. I mean, one listing, of course you're going to get there. And you're going to just drive the path. Whether you stay or not, doesn't really matter. I think you're going to like it. I think you should stay. I think it's a great program, and I'll teach you a whole bunch of other stuff: communication, time management, lead follow-up, lead generation. You're going to get all my systems, all the books. But let's start with FSBOs, because as we're headed for the summer market, the numbers will go up. More and more people will try, and some of them will try on their own. And then they will entertain the idea of going with a regular broker like you or going with a discount broker. And I will teach you some strategies to show them why there may be an advantage. Even though you may charge a little more, it's still better for them. So we'll cover all that. All of that will be part of it, okay? So I'm really excited about that. FSBO Bootcamp is goborino.com/FSBO. Now there's a whole bunch of things, of course, you're gonna get full access to my listing university. You're gonna get the FSBO program. You're gonna get my bonus program called the Mind Matrix Plus that will help you with some subconscious programming and limiting beliefs you still might have. The $2,000 bootcamp, all included, is only $197 a month. And stay for as long as you want. goborino.com/FSBO. Now this is a bootcamp. That means you're not just sitting there passively taking notes and you're being entertained, kumbaya. I expect you to work. I expect you to set realistic goals, and I expect you to work your ass off to reach those goals. I want you to get listings right away. I want you to go talk to people right away, start generating leads right away. It will not be perfect, it may be a little uncomfortable, but remember, it's a boot camp. That's not a pleasure cruise. We're not like Norwegian, what is it? What's that cruise line? Norwegian something. It's a fucking Borino boot camp. I'm gonna yell at you if you don't get your shit done, because you hire me as your coach to get results. I hired my coach, George, when we first started, to lose weight and look better. I do what George tells me to do, sometimes more. Because you know me, I'm not exactly Mr. Passive. I'm pretty ambitious. So that's what I expect from you. Going in with flames in the heart, with passion, knowing that even if you don't have all the answers or you don't think you got what it takes, I can bring it out in you. Está bien? All right, guys. Now, Chris has a good question. Biggest pushback I receive is bring me clients that are interested and will talk, but I don't want to list. Chris, what the seller is really saying, you're going to hear a few objections like just bring us a buyer and we already have an agent, and these are just brushes. Because what I will show you is what they say and what they end up doing are very often two very different things. What they're really telling you is we do not want to list, but if you bring us a buyer, we'll cooperate with you. That's a first IOI. That's important, indicator of interest. Your objective at the beginning is start building connection, start the conversation. And the way I start the conversation is, don't worry, I'm not another agent trying to bash you over the head and list your house and convince you that you should list with me so you can smile and relax. It's a pattern interrupt. We'll talk about more tomorrow about the communication. But if I open with this, in most cases, you're going to hear a chuckle, which is a very good sign. That means the guard has dropped. They're more relaxed. And I tell them, I don't even know if your house is good enough to be listed. I don't know if we're going to click. And I know you want to try it on your own. That makes perfect sense. I completely disarm them. It's called a preemptive strike. Because from their perspective, what they're trying to do makes perfect sense. I mean, think about it. If you had an opportunity to save $7, $8, $10, $15,000, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you at least try? Of course you would. Many people do. Now, you and I know it's a dumb idea. You and I know where they're going to end up is listing with you or somebody else. Hopefully with you. But they don't know it yet. And if you try to convince them, if you try to sell them on it, if you try to use scripts and convictions and influence them, manipulate them, you're going to hit a wall, you're done. And in most cases, it's impossible to recover from that. So I'm going to show you a much more elegant way. Besides, you don't really know if you want that listing anyway. You haven't seen the property, you haven't talked to the seller, you don't know if they're qualified, motivated, reasonable. You need to get some answers before you can proceed. So we'll take it one little step at a time. So the objection you're going to get is usually because other agents try to either sell them over the phone on the fact that they need to list, they are too pushy, or it's very clear they just want the listing. They're not there to help. If you shift that to just being kind and helpful, being inquisitive, and offering some really tangible, genuine help, you're going to go very far. Not with everybody, but that's okay, because out of 10, all you need is half. And you will get the half if you use the right approach. Make sense? So I'll give you some specific language tomorrow, some specific dialogues you can deploy. Danielle says, can you ask a FSBO to take pictures of their house and post on Facebook? From a marketing standpoint, I think you can. Is it a legal question? I can't give you legal answers, obviously. But I would definitely encourage you, help that FSBO market the property first. Now, for those of you who just right now went, oh, fuck, I don't want to help them. I want that listing. No, I don't want to be helpful. What if they sell on their own? Sometimes they will. But what I can tell you, years and years of experience has proven to me over and over, if you spread a lot of goodwill out there, just like me right now, teaching you for free. Yes, I'm promoting the bootcamp. I'd like to camp. But the reason I want you to come to the bootcamp is because I know it can help you. Do the same. Spread a lot of goodwill. The fact that you're not where you want to be financially is because there is not enough goodwill out there that you contribute yet. Some of it you will get rewarded for. You will get paid pennies. Some, not so much. But one thing I know for sure, if you spread enough goodwill out there, it's going to come back way more than tenfold. It's going to come back. Maybe not from the same source, and that's okay. But it's going to come back. But start with you. Contribute first. Give first. Be helpful first. Be kind first. It must start with you. We're not the scarcity mentality. Well, what if I don't get that listing? Or what if they sell on their own? Or what if there's not enough? There's plenty. There will be over 5 million closed transactions this year. 5 million. Think about the number. That's 10 million commissions, right? Two sides. That's a huge amount of deals, a lot of money all around you, a lot of leads all around you. Start with the mindset, different mindset. Shift to the mindset of there's plenty. I'm going to start with contribution. I'm going to start with goodwill. I'm going to be helpful first. I'm going to be kind first. I'm going to contribute first. Then I can look into how to cash that out. Yeah? Doesn't make sense, Anya? Chris, this is a great quote from Michael Jordan. I really like that quote. I failed over and over again, that's why I'm successful. And we all have, Chris. Jesus, if I count my failures, guys, you know why I don't teach you selling? Have I ever told you? The reason I don't teach you the traditional selling, some people out there teach the traditional sales approach. Grant Cardone, I respect and like the guy, but that's very typical selling. His background is car sales. The reason I don't teach you any of that is because I had 3 sales jobs in my life. Direct selling jobs. One was a telemarketing, one was sales, and one was real estate. I failed in all 3 of them. I failed. I had a telemarketing job. I worked for a company, telemarketing. I got fired 2 days in. You know why? I earned zero. Zero. Second job I had was at Radio Shack. I was selling batteries for Radio Shack and other electronics, but mostly batteries. Gone. Fired. 2 years into real estate, I was homeless. Talk about a failure. So I don't teach selling. I don't like selling. I don't think consumers like it. I mean, do you like to be sold, pushed, manipulated? Most people don't. I know I don't. So what I discovered is you can be cool to people, you can be kind to people, you can be helpful and make a boatload of money. In real estate and probably in almost every other industry. So you can too. And it's going to take a process of failing and trying and not working. Jesus, I failed at everything. It's funny how I'm restructuring. We have a small music studio here at home. And I was redoing some stuff and some wiring and setting up, I like to mix. I used to be a DJ, an actor and all that. And you get rusty. And I remember the days where I started with music and I started doing all that fun stuff. And it was terrible. I was terrible at everything. I was terrible at making videos. I was terrible at writing. I was terrible at everything. Coaching, Jesus. I look at some of my early coaching sessions way back, in 1745, and they were terrible. But I had to go through that process to be good. You have to go through that process as well. And it's going to require some failing and dusting yourself off and looking back and learning and saying, okay, I won't do that again. And let's just keep going. That's the path. That's what it takes. All right. Hello, coach, says Pablo. Just passed my real estate test last Friday. Ready to start. Pablo, welcome to this crazy world. Man, good to have you, man. It's a great time to be in real estate. This is a good time, very exciting times. Because we're marrying, the world of technology is pretty cool. As you're going to discover, there are a lot of cool toys, a lot of tools, and a lot of resources at your disposal to learn, like coaching sessions like this one. On the other hand, you're getting into a people business. So if you enjoy talking to people, if you enjoy helping people, if you just are genuinely a people person, you're going to do well. what you need to learn, one of the most important skills to learn is communication. Confident communication. Because even with the chats and social media and videos and God knows what everything else we have, people business will require you to be able to communicate well with people. And then learn your ass off, work your ass off. So anyway, it's exciting. Let me know if I can help. Come do the bootcamp with me and we'll accelerate your progress. We'll get you wherever you want to go faster. Borino says, John, I always enjoy listening to your dialogues and use some of your FSBO approaches when I dial out. Good for you. Keep using it. It is good. All right. Hey, Jeremy. Nice to see you, my man. His teachings are good as well. Well, thank you. Hello from Miami. John Cavaliero happened to be door knocking FSBOs right now, watching you on the go. Vivian, that's awesome. Go get them. This is excellent. Very, very good. All right, friends. So that's my message to you today. You have people around you who are looking for a good agent, looking for help, looking for answers, looking for resources. If you don't push them, if you don't manipulate, and if you don't go in with a needy agenda, you will be able to help those people. And they will reward you for it, not just with business, not just with listings, but with referrals. That's the whole secret, guys. One of the biggest discoveries I had on this journey through the world of real estate is when I discovered the biggest secret. And the biggest secret of real estate is there are no secrets. Everything that the most successful agents do, the biggest rock stars, making $500,000, $800,000, $1 million or more a year, you can learn as well. You can get there as well. That was, for me, the biggest revelation. And more importantly, my biggest passion is to help people like you, Pablo, and everybody else who says, I want to learn this the right way. It's time for me to make some changes and make this the best year I've ever had. I'm ready to step up and teach you. And I figured the best way to teach you is if we spend 4 very intense weeks together building these systems together. And if I can teach you just one system that will get you there the fastest is work with people who are already in the process, who are not ready 6 months from now, a year from now, who are already selling now, and who, if you remember the statistics, will end up listing. That's a no-brainer. And if you can let go of the notion that it's going to be easy and comfortable, we both know it won't be. Just like working out, just like doing all the other things, there is some discomfort and some discipline required. But remember the Coach Borino rule, do the best you can with what you have, and rule number 2, there is no victory without discipline. Yes, you need to be passionate, yet you need to have the right beliefs, you need to have fire in the belly. It will require discipline. Especially when it doesn't feel like it, especially when you're feeling off, especially you feel tired, lazy, not motivated. I can't motivate you. But I can tell you that there'll be agents in your area cleaning up, making a lot of money, investing in real estate, having a phenomenal lifestyle. My job is, if you come to me, is for you to be that agent. So my friends, go to goborino.com/FSBO, sign up, register. It's only $197 a month. And if after the month of the bootcamp you bail out, that's fine. If you want to stay, we're going to send you more books. You're going to get a communication book from me. You're going to get time management lesson. You're going to get lead generation systems, including the FSBO system, expired system, referral system. I will teach you all kinds of cool stuff. So come join us. goborino.com/FSBO is the URL. Would love to have you in the bootcamp. Remember, we need to ship you the book. We don't have much time. We kind of started late on the promotion. That's my fault. Starting next Thursday, 11 a.m., some of you, your life will change and your business will change. And I appreciate you who are already joining us. It's going to be great. If you're already on the path, of course, you will have the priority to come join us. It's only $97, one-time fee, just so that you show up. It's like you have to have vested interest, skin in the game, you know what I mean? Anyway, we'd love to have you. That's a lesson for today. We're going to continue tomorrow with specific dialogues. I'm going to teach you some questions, some dialogues, opening conversations, best questions to ask FSBOs, things to stay away from, and all that. Until then, remember your homework. Have just one conversation. Just get your toes wet in that FSBO water. You're going to discover it's pretty warm, and it's not that bad. People around you need your help. Go help them make a lot of money. All right, friends. Thank you very much for being here today. Did I answer all your questions? Chris has a question. We have a paradigm shift on the way we think. Your methods of what I've seen so far is just that. We have to make the emotional connection to our clients to make us different from every other agent. Very true, Chris. What I want you to develop is understanding that from their perspective, who they are and what they're trying to do makes perfect sense to them. You may disagree with that. You may have different statistics. You may have different agenda, and you do want to get paid at the end. But if you put yourself in the seller's position, a lot of it will make more sense. A lot of their behavior that may at the surface feel rude and aloof and cold or disinterested or whatever, when you turn it around and you look at it from their perspective, will make more sense. And more importantly, I can teach you strategies and communication techniques and psychology techniques without manipulation, how you can influence that. How you can start breaking down these barriers and build a connection with very kind and, I don't want to say desperate, but people who do need your help, because this business can be very complicated and many FSBOs screw up. They lose money, they lose opportunity, and if somebody kind and helpful, high status agent like you, Chris, comes in, who can help them, they will very much appreciate it and they will see the difference. All right? All right. Good. So, my friends, goborino.com. Come join the bootcamp. Would love to have you. We're starting next Thursday. It's going to be a great class. I want this summer to be the most spectacular, profitable summer you've ever had. Thanks for being here today. We'll do this again tomorrow and all week at noon Eastern Time here on Rockstars and on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. I'll talk to you soon. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. Bye, everybody.